something clicked in me where I was like, if I don't invest in this now, I'm literally never, ever going to create that life. I knew that on my own, I was going to continue to kind of like have these moments of, oh yeah, I can do this, and then get overwhelmed. And without the support of someone who knows that I can do it and is going to help me like regulate out of it, like I'm just going to stay in that pattern.
Thank you so much for doing this testimonial with me. Can we start by you sharing your name, the kind of creator you are, and why you chose creative coaching?
My name is Aditi, and I also go by Aditi. I'm currently making comedy, some spiritual content. I've been in the astrology world for many years. A big part of why I wanted to do coaching with you is because I saw how you wove your spiritual practice into everything. You know, something that we've touched on is how separate my spirituality and like my spiritual practice kind of is from the rest of my creativity. And yeah, I really want to weave it in. That was a big part of why I wanted to work with you as well. Just like understanding that you're coming from a trauma-informed place, and the like goal, for lack of a better word, in what you're sharing is not about like the thing, it's about the process. Yeah, just that word process. Like I feel like that's such a big part of what you offer, and I really value that.
So much can change in 3 months. So can you paint a little bit of a picture of where you were 3 months ago?
I was living in Austin, Texas, feeling pretty stuck because I had been ruminating on starting a YouTube channel for literally years. And I had these 2 videos that I'd uploaded and like nothing else. I was initiating actually a really big move. Right now I'm in Toronto. I really wanted to create a structure and a support system for myself so that creativity could just become a part of my life effortlessly, even while doing an international move. And that's what's happened. So now I have like systems, regular check-ins with myself and with you, and I'm doing it. You know, I've been posting consistently. I'm starting to build a little group container to share gratitude with folks. I'm getting ready to build out some astrology offerings. It really did not feel like I could get it all together 3 months ago. And now I'm like, oh yeah, it's happening. It's like my goal at the beginning of this was like one YouTube video. And yeah, I've been consistently posting shorts for, I want to say 2 months.
It's just cool because you know obviously the person can do it. And so just to see them realize that they can too is just, it's so satisfying, and it genuinely brings me a lot of joy. I'd love to hear you more or hear you talk more about sort of that coaching process, you know. Can you speak more about sort of what that support was like, from like our one-on-one calls to the editing sessions to, you know, the WhatsApp support?
On an intellectual level, I know moving from an aligned place creates the best action, and it feels easeful and effortless. When I'm not in an aligned place, I'm like forgetting that completely, and I'm not embodying that in any sense. What was really surprising to me is like learning that consistently about myself. Oh, when I'm not in an aligned place, I'm still gonna try to force myself to action. And then I'm like, why have I been on the struggle bus for so many stops? And you're like, well, are you ready to connect with the vulnerable part of you that you're avoiding? Are you ready to weep?
Literally.
And I'm like, oh, okay, fine. And then, you know, inevitably, like we go through this process, it has a ripple effect, and then I find the next aligned action. And
I noticed this in our last call. Sometimes we can use some of the emotional work to not be in our action. And so it was really cool how you wanted to launch this gratitude container, something you mentioned, I want to say maybe in the first month or the first half of our coaching for sure. One thing I like to do for folks, especially when it comes to posting, I'll invite folks to just grab your phone right now and open that thing that you were going to post, open the app, whatever the thing is. And almost immediately folks will have like this visceral response that's like resisting. But what's so cool is that I noticed in you, it was this excitement. You were like, and I was like, oh, you're ready. Like, we don't need to go on a whole emotional journey. You're ready to go.
oh my God, call me out. Call me out, Timothy. Yeah, literally every time you're like, well, are you ready to text some people about? I'm like, and you do it really consistently, but every time I'm like, and I'm like, right, yeah.
Speaking of, do you want to talk about some of the wins you've experienced in our time together? So for instance, starting the channel, thousands of views, moving internationally with a newish baby, like
So many wins, honestly. I mean, the thing that's really striking me right now, and maybe because it's like the most fresh, is this piece around feminine energy that we've
Mm.
been talking about, that's just like, oh yeah, I can tap into my feminine energy. Obviously, I can lean back and allow myself to receive blessings and put myself in the right place to do these things. That was a really big aha moment in the last couple weeks, getting into the rhythm of uploading to YouTube and demystifying the process of what I really need to do from beginning to end. That has really opened my eyes to how to make the content creation process easier and more fun. And then, of course, like the emotional support has been so invaluable during this move because, especially in a time of big change, like it's so easy to just kind of be very guarded and like push through everything. And I have been able to consistently be really vulnerable with myself and connect with really hurt old parts of myself and give them some love and compassion and grace. And that has helped me kind of make choices at the foundation of my life that are going to be more supportive in the long run.
There's so many things that I take for granted as a creative, things like using Canva, for instance, because it's just like part of the workflow. And so there's such fun in being like, oh, you can do like infinite number of things with Canva and just like diving in.
Literally, we spent like 5 minutes in Canva together, and you showed me like 10 different things I could do that I was like, you could do that in Canva. And you're like, not even with a paid account. Like, Canva is magic.
I was a little bit concerned because I mostly do Premiere Pro editing. And so you use DaVinci Resolve to edit. So part of me was like, oh, okay, I hope my skills can translate. And
Right.
it was really cool to like sort of watch your workflow and like be supportive in that way. And because you'd been working on a video, you had this first video that ended up being like a series of shorts on your channel.
That was shot when I was 9 months pregnant, like really like edging up towards the end of my pregnancy. It was so much fun to make. And then I had a baby and a million things, other things happened. And I was like, I don't know if I'll ever edit that stuff. That was, I think, one of the first things we did together, like in an editing session. The support was, it wasn't just like technical, like how do you edit something or how do you do storytelling? It was like, okay, let's find the footage. At the end of the call, like, what's the next step? I got several rounds of feedback also from you on kind of what works, what doesn't. A big part of what I really loved, you were able to pull from your love of TikTok and like memes in general and kind of help me find ways to translate some of the comedy from, because it was originally written for a stage.
And then I'm curious because we had a discovery call, and then I'd say it was maybe like a month or so, maybe longer, before you actually sort of followed up and said, now I'm ready to sign up for coaching. Can you remember and share a bit about what happened in that initial period and sort of in terms of your decision-making process? What needed to become clear for you to sort of make that investment?
When I booked the discovery call, I was listening to a video of yours while walking around on a Tuesday afternoon. I'm on maternity leave and I'm constantly thinking, how can I keep this flexibility in my life? I heard you in a video reference, who are these people walking around on a Tuesday afternoon, like just living their lives, not chained to a 9 to 5? I was like, oh my gosh, that's me. I would like to stay this way, like after maternity leave ends. And that's when I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to book a call. I had some really helpful insights just from that call. And then I feel like I fell into like despair over just like, how am I going to make it work? I don't have enough time. Like, I got this baby, I got this like freelance work I'm doing. Like, it's too much. I can't do anything. And then something clicked in me where I was like, if I don't invest in this now, I'm literally never ever going to create that life where I can just go for a walk on any old afternoon. I can't keep waiting for the context of my life to be like perfect to receive this experience and this transformation. It's like, no, I actually need to take the initiative to create it for myself. I knew that on my own, I was going to continue to kind of like go up and down, have these moments of, oh yeah, I can do this, and then get overwhelmed. And, my nervous system is going to do things that kind of held me back for many years. And without the support of someone who knows that I can do it and is going to help me like regulate out of it, I'm just going to stay in that pattern. In our discovery call, you talked about the Thomas Hubel training. As I was kind of watching more of your videos and just thinking more about that training, I was like, I need the wisdom from this training distilled into my life from Chimdi. This isn't just a coach who's gonna like help me create something and it's just gonna be about the thing I'm creating. It's gonna be about the process. It's gonna be about the healing. It's gonna be about my spirit team and all of those beautiful things.
As you consider what's made, you a great fit for this coaching and what other people might be considering, because you were once one of those people considering coaching, what would you say to someone who's maybe on the fence about coaching and, getting on that first call with me?
really tuning into your life in 1 year from now if you don't take that call. You don't listen to that part of you that's like, I really want to create this for myself, and with some support, I know I can. Where are you going to be 1 year from now if you continue to say, yeah, I'll get to that voice eventually? And yeah, and then tune into yourself 1 year from now if you did take that plunge and you did take that call and you decided to move forward. The levity and the freedom that could come from that, like, I think it's worth the discomfort.
If you were to talk to you from 3 months ago, who was like, had the boxes, had the
Oh
journal, you
my
had
God.
to, if she could see you now, if you could have this conversation, is there anything you'd say or
I just want to thank myself 3 months ago and Chimdi 3 months ago for like holding my hand through this process. It's been so gentle yet disciplined at the same time. And I never have been able to feel both of those things at the same time so consistently. The me 3 months ago that was used to just smoking weed and figuring it out and like letting things just fall where they may is like, I feel like my creative process is just so much more heart-centered now. I'm not running away from how my heart is feeling when I'm overwhelmed, or I'm like, I'm trying to do big things and make big changes in my life. Of course I'm going to feel overwhelmed, and of course I'm going to want to run away. I'm going to be with that. Being in the practice of that consistently over this time is like, I feel like I can scale in a sense. It's like I feel like the changes that I'm making, I'm like, I can keep making changes.
yay? Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and doing this testimonial with me. You obviously have a YouTube channel where folks can go and watch if they want to enjoy your amazing, silly, joyful, unhinged style
Really
of
unhinged.
comedy,
Really
as well
unhinged.
as this beautiful spiritual and, astrological and all these other amazing components you have. So where can folks find you?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube and Instagram as Didi O'Reilly. School.com. I have a gratitude community. We're sharing gratitude every day. I'll be sharing some astrology offerings there as well. So yeah, check it out.
Thank you.
Much thank you, Chimney.
And cuts.